The Grove should make you nervous, but you should also be excited. And also, there's a couple things that you haven't thought about in this game because this is the biggest test for Georgia to date of the season. Biggest test for Ole Miss, biggest college football game yet on the schedule. We break it down next. Locked on Bulldogs.
You are Locked on Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked on Bulldogs podcast. He is Clint. I am Daniel. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Make every moment more. Clint's trying to juke me on it's Friday episode. So we're out here. Thank you so much for being out here with us. If you're a first listener, meaning you make us your first listen of the day, that we appreciate that greatly. If you are an everydayer, meaning that you're out here with us every single day, then we appreciate you as well. If you missed a day this week, yesterday we talked about our predictions for the game. The day before we had Steven from Locked on Ole Miss on, and that was fantastic.
It was great.
Got to hear from him.
Go listen to it if you haven't. He has a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, go listen to that Wednesday show. And today is Friday, so we're in our normal Friday routine, talking about things that we're excited about, things that we're nervous about, things that you should not sleep on. And so without further ado, Clint, let's talk about what we're excited about first. Going into this game, what makes you excited?
I think what makes me excited is legitimately this is going to be a turning point, and all eyes are going to be on Carson Beck. But I'm excited to see this young man perform, to come out here again. Look, there's no excuses anymore. It's all been out there. This is make or break, and I'm excited for it because I think in high pressure situations, we talked about Kirby Smart, we talked about coaching, we talked about Mike Bobo, we talked about this offense. In the biggest games, we come to play. We shine when the lights shine the most. And that's what I think I'm excited this game. Carson Beck is a microcosm of that. But Mississippi State, we had our lowest performing red zone defense, tons of yards per play. Against Texas and Clemson, the best red zone defense. I'm excited for Carson Beck to have a bounce back, and not just bounce back in a way that's like, okay, yeah, he throws interceptions, he comes back and he does that. No. I'm talking about there's going to be a clarity. Because on the road at Ole Miss, I know Kirby Smart knows. We've been playing Russian roulette with our season all day long. It must stop. It must end. Some of that's going to go on Bobo to limit the offense. But Governor on the offense is, again, running on first down, not giving Carson Beck the opportunity to throw on first down for a while until the rhythm is established. I'm excited for that. That's going to result in a death march in this game, in the rain, in the Grove. Daniel, that is what I am so thrilled for the brightest spot to bring out the best of the dogs. And that's what happens in every one of these instances we've seen Kirby Smart play. Not named Alabama. I'll give the caveat. I'll give the asterisk. But that's what I'm excited for, Daniel. It's another marquee matchup in the SEC with playoff implications galore.
Absolutely it is. Yeah, I mean, I think I have thoughts about what you said, but I'm gonna hold on to them for the time being.
He's gonna put a comma, put a pin.
We'll check back with me later in the show, and we'll get to all that.
Remember the segments.
I am excited though about big game Georgia defense, Clint. This is the side of the ball that has proven to us that they come to play in these big moments. This is the side of the ball that has proven the spotlight's not too big for them. The moment's not too big for them.
Nope.
2 quarters this year, the Georgia defense looked questionable in big games. They have played 12 quarters in big games so far this year. Opener at Clemson, on the road at Alabama, on the road at Texas. In 12 quarters, then 85% of them, they have risen to the moment and been dominant. A dominant, not a good unit, a physically matching unit on that of the ball. I'm excited for Michael Williams. I'm excited for the Georgia
Yeah.
pass rush. I'm excited for
Yep.
another big game of Walker. I'm excited for this Georgia defense to get their shot at Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart and the Ole Miss offense, and I do not think they are going to disappoint. There might be a big play. There might be a bust. There might be a scheme. There might be a busted long touchdown. But this Georgia defense is going to get after this Ole Miss offensive front. They're going to I like who we are in the secondary to match up against these receivers, but more than that, I don't think we are going to let Jackson Dart stand back there and beat us. And he is athletic, but he is not Jalen Milroe. He is not a guy that is going to escape the pressure of guys like Jalen Walker and Michael Williams and company. And so give me the tried and true, proven Georgia defense that has been, on the whole, again, with the exception of 2 quarters, absolutely dominant in the biggest games on Georgia's schedule so far.
And add the Florida game last week to that on the road in a stupid, horrible turf with Carson Beck giving every opportunity to Florida Gators to be in there. I mean, again, Lagway went out, but before that time, they were doing just fine. A couple of injury notes for Ole Miss. Ole Miss is out here talking about their offense. Well, what if I told you that Henry Parrish Jr., Logan Diggs, Matt Jones, those are 3 running backs that are listed as out or doubtful. Trey Harris, doubtful. Many people of Ole Miss saying Lane Kiffin's playing smoke and mirrors with this right now, that Trey Harris is in fact playing. If it is,
they're all
different.
playing. They're all playing.
They're going to be out a couple of running backs. It's going to go down to it. I think they're already one-dimensional. I think this passing attack is the way that Lane wants to do it. I don't think the running attack is going to be there. I think with our 3-man defensive line front, that no, we don't run a 3-4, by the way, when I say that. Just a quick, there's edge. I can't even get it. I can't.
Let's not with people.
With our 3 down
people
linemen,
on the podcast.
Okay, fans here. We're not fans. I think that's going to be fine. Ingram, Dawkins, Kristen Miller are going to be just fine in that. Add on to that Jalen Walker and Michael Williams taking down the run. It's going to be fine. Notable on the defensive side as well, listed for questionable on Georgia's side. One Smile Mondon, questionable. Game time decision. Jordan Hall is probable. The only 4 that are out, Roderick, Anthony, Branson, and Joseph Jonah Ajayi. But Smile Mondon upgraded, questionable, Daniel. Who knows? But
people are asking, do we I can't do that. We'll be back in the next segment. We'll be back in the next segment talking about things that make us nervous heading into this Ole Miss game. But first,
these are, in fact, LinkedIn. When you're hiring for a small business, you want to find qualified professionals or right role. That's when you have to check out LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs has tools to help the right professionals right now. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. It helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else. Even those who aren't actively searching for a new job might be able to perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking for anybody on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. LinkedIn knows that small businesses are wearing many hats, may not have time or the resource to hire. That's why it's constantly finding ways to improve the process. Just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even quicker. 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, Daniel, that's what we're excited about. There's much to be excited on the defensive side of the ball. And yes, give me, but I'll say Chris Cole is making me just fine right now.
We're fine. I'm just saying we're fine.
KJ Bolden, by the way,
we're fine.
KJ Bolden, oh my, we're
fine.
He's making me have all the feels. Okay, Daniel, let's talk about the nervous segment.
Okay.
This is where you grab your bucket and you hold it near and dear. Yep, go ahead, show it. There she blows. You got to have that bucket on you. If
you always have it nearby at all times.
You do. There's a lot of interesting things in this game that should make you nervous. But I was talking to Stephen Willis, and many teams have done this before. The phrase that I was told was Georgia's walking into a buzzsaw in the Grove. It's going to be the most packed the stadium's ever been. which is like, I don't know, 68,000 or something like that. I don't know, whatever. A lot of fanfare,
So it'll be
a
like
lot of excitement.
It'll be like a sold out game at the Omni in the 90s.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to say.
Georgia coming in after a tough, hard-fought win against Florida that was closer than people thought. Looking down, I mean, this again. I've been saying it all week, but this feels like the Texas game to me because it has everything else. Didn't look particularly good going into Texas. Lost to Alabama. Defense reeling, hard-fought games. Kentucky was in there. How dare us? But I think what is nerve-wracking for me is this fact and this fact alone. Ole Miss wins this game and cakewalks the rest of the season. Okay.
Oh, easy. The rest of their schedule is nothing.
It's nothing. This is for all their marbles. It's their Super Bowl, Daniel.
Yeah, we heard that before. Georgia's your Super Bowl. We get it. We get it, college football. Yeah, we get it.
We understand. Now, Kirby typically rises to the occasion, but it just feels like what I'm nervous about is one of these times it's not going to break Georgia's way. Like I'm nervous, and what's nerve-wracking because college football is built on momentum. You talked about it earlier, Daniel. You can't quantify, but it's a real object.
Very real.
It's there. A team that has all the momentum, all the eggs on their basket. Lane Kiffin, knowing what he can do, a perfect game plan, scripted out, can go ahead and slice and dice when Kirby Smart doesn't have the right game plan prepared. Offenses can surprise him, and when that's the case, we have to make halftime adjustments. I just hope it's not to 17 points. I hope we just don't pull an Alabama again, that we give 17 on the board and then make adjustments and then shut them down, because 17 points on the road in the rain with Carson Beck, things aren't feeling too good to me then, Daniel. That's what I'm nervous about. I am nervous for a hot start from Ole Miss that Kirby Smart didn't game plan for, that Lane Kiffin goes off script, doesn't do stupid things like going for it on 4th and 5 at midfield, punts the ball away. Carson Beck in the offense can't get things going because we have no running backs. He throws incomplete because the rain is getting to him. He's mentally upset. He can't get the offense going. And Brett Thorson comes in and punts one off the side of his foot because, again, it's raining to all heck and it's out at the 35. That's the worst case scenario that that's what I'm nervous about. And then this defense is on the field too much. And with Lane Kiffin, you just need one slip up in the secondary. Just one stupid slip up to do a back shoulder on the field side. And all of a sudden, 7-0, 8 plays into the game. And then another one comes out. I'm nervous for the fast start because one of these times it's law of averages. I mean, he's a human. Kirby Smart's a human. He can't win all these games consecutively against non-Alabama opponents. Like, it's just ridiculous to me.
Can he?
That's what I'm nervous about, Dan.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me before I get into what I'm nervous about, which I appreciate as a Georgia fan that you're nervous about, and I'm just paraphrasing here, everything.
There we go.
So, just in summary of what you just said.
In totality, our best specialist doesn't know how to specialize. Carson Beck continues to be him. Our defense fails, and we get off to a horrible start in the rain on the. Yeah, that's just, I've encapsulated everything. Great.
Let me say this, though, before I get into what I'm nervous about. The one thing that I'm not going to be nervous about is the rain. We're not Tennessee. You understand? Like, we're not going to crumble because our clothes are getting wet like Tennessee is. Okay, so when it rains, we play football, and Tennessee is trying to run track, and so they have a tough time doing that.
It's true.
It's true. But I am very pointedly nervous.
Yeah.
Not that Carson Beck's going to play bad. Okay, so I want to get out ahead of that. That's not what I'm saying.
That's not what he's saying, folks.
I am nervous, though, that Carson Beck is going to play normal. That's the problem. Do you see what I did?
I see what you did there.
Because if I may, it's time we start owning what is. And normal for Carson Beck is bad this year. Like, he doesn't need to play. Like, he doesn't need to avoid playing poorly. He needs to exceed our expectations of him. He needs to play above his own level for Georgia to be in a good spot with him. Like, why would I believe? Fool me once, Clint. Why would I believe that Carson Beck is going to be something other than what he's been every time he's run out there the last 5 weeks? You mentioned the environment. It's going to be raucous. Carson Beck is not mentally strong. And so I'm nervous that he's going to play exactly like I know he's going to play, Clint. Like, I got on this podcast on the Friday episode last week, and I said, don't sleep on Carson Beck shutting everyone up and turning it around. And what did he do? He went out there against a pretty below average Florida defense, and he sucked. Do you know why?
Yeah. Why?
Because he's Carson Beck this year. Like, that's who he is. Like, I'm honestly and legitimately not trying to just like bag on the kid. I'm more so trying to bag on me and Georgia fans for expecting something else. Like, this is who he has shown us that he is. And so why won't we just believe him? Like, right? If somebody tells you over and over again, like, this is what I'm going to do, at some point you should maybe just believe them if that's how they're acting. So I'm nervous that real Carson Beck shows up.
Yeah.
And if he shows up, Ole Miss, I've said it all week, Ole Miss is the type of team that can legitimately make Georgia pay. So is Texas. But Ole Miss might not turn it over 4 times and just give us the ball like Texas did. Let's not make Georgia's defense won that game with turnovers.
Yes.
To outweigh the Carson Beck disaster that was in that game. So Ole Miss probably not going to do that. You just can't bank on a team doing that. And so, yeah, I'm nervous about Carson Beck. When I look at this Georgia team, what else do I have to be nervous about? Everything else looks pretty dang good.
Yeah, again, the point that you just made with Carson Beck, believe him when he tells you. Okay, apply that to the rest of the team. Believe the linebackers are wildly improved and sure tackling machines now. Believe the secondary can cover people and come up in the run sport. Believe the edge defenders getting after the quarterback. We are the most talented defense in America. Full stop. Believe the offensive line and Nate Frazier and ETN and Cass Jones. Okay. If I could promise you, Daniel, with no other stat line, if I could promise you Carson Beck 0 interceptions but 0 touchdowns.
Carson Beck throws for 0 touchdowns, we lose the game by multiple scores.
See, and I think this is kind of what's interesting to me about this game. We're going to need Carson Beck to sling it, y'all.
Because you said believe what the team has told us. This team has told us all year long the only way we score is through the passing game. The only way we score is on the shoulder of Carson Beck. The only way the other team scores is on the shoulder of Carson Beck.
Do you see
he accounts for all the points?
Do you see why we're nervous? Do you see again what makes us both love and hate this team all at the same time? The lizard eating its tail and doing it all over again. It's just ridiculous. We're going to come back after these with some things not to sleep on because there are a bunch of stuff in this game that's really, really crucial. But first, these. And these two are, in fact, Robinhood Gold. You don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get rates and perks usually reserved for high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5 APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA accounts. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. The generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. But that's not all, Daniel. I want to let you also know about FanDuel. FanDuel is fantastic. The official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcasts everywhere. We love them. They're the official sports book. Daniel and I did locks yesterday. Every single point spread that we gave in those, the 2.5 that Georgia has against Ole Miss, we made that lock. Those are locks, Daniel and I believe. We believe we're going to win this game, and FanDuel has us covered. Right now, you can have $150 in bonus bets with a $5 bet that wins. $5 bet gets you $150. And right now, all the stats and all the games and all the live play-by-play happens in the same spot you make bets. Don't miss a moment of the action. Make every moment more. FanDuel.com. Let's talk about what people are not speaking on, Daniel. So the segment goes, be excited, be nervous, don't sleep on. By the way, really quick, before we talk about what not to sleep on in this game, Colby Young news has hit the wire. All charges have been requested to be dropped by his significant other at one time. She says, never touched him, never laid a hand on her. Completely untrue. All charges have been asked to be dismissed against him immediately.
That will make the front page of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Clint. I'm nearly positive
it won't.
That Chip Towers will write a full-page story about that.
It won't.
No. He's going to be busy asking questions to Kirby Smart about his visor. And
Visors
we're all
about
going to be
visors.
dumber for having to be subjected to his existence.
We already are.
Yeah,
and will continue to be.
Let me get out ahead of this one, Clint. Don't sleep on.
Yeah.
This is for this game, but it's also a bigger picture. Don't sleep on Anthony Evans' injury being one of the more detrimental things to this University of Georgia football team. We didn't talk about it last week. We didn't talk about it in the overreaction show. We didn't talk about it all. We haven't talked about it all week.
Yeah.
Malachi Starks returning punts is like a punch in the soul. It is like getting punched right in the soul. It is it's the opposite of a weapon.
Yeah.
It is, watching him call a fair catch with no defender within 20 yards of him.
Yeah.
Watching him field a ball and then run straight into the nearest man with a complete and total inability to avoid anyone. Like, Anthony Evans is special. We were seeing him get involved in the receiving game.
Yes.
We know what he can do in the punt return game. So let me be the first to say, don't sleep on no punts returned for touchdowns in this game for Georgia, Clint. It hurts me to say it, but don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on this. I talked about Carson Beck, Mike Bobo crafting a game plan because I think Mike Bobo understands the assignment. The defense is going to keep us in the game. Ole Miss is going to score points. We don't think that we're going to be able to shut them out or keep them below 10 points. We think Ole Miss is going to be able to drive and be efficient in this game because they're at home with Lane, biggest game of the spot. I think they're going to be able to do something. Even Texas got 15 on the board against us. So I think that's the case. But Mike Bobo knows to shrink the game a little bit, to play a little bit more ball control. It's already been public. He's been talking about running the ball more. Don't anticipate. I'm not calling for more run in this game. What I'm calling for.
You're not saying run the damn ball. That's not what you're saying.
Well, I am saying that. No. Don't misquote me. I am on record of saying never run an empty set again in our existence. That's my firm belief.
And yet here we are.
I have to take a cleansing breath right now.
Sure.
It's like thunder and lightning. If you show me thunder and lightning, or if you show me an empty set with nobody back there with Carson Beck, the same feelings come to mind.
Sure.
Don't sleep on Lawson Lucky being the top receiver in this game. Dylan Bell is still there. You talk about Anthony, but because where does Carson Beck and I'm not talking he's okay. I'm talking excel. Middle of the field play action. He is elite in that. And he other things he doesn't excel in. But I'm telling you, that is his bread and butter. Lawson Lucky in this game being open in the middle I think is going to happen. London Humphreys, I think, plays a bigger role in this game. I think it's more akin to that Clemson game that we saw. I think we've seen plays designed for Lost and Lucky in this offense. I think Eurosec and Delp blocking have been a breath of fresh air in this to get them in there. I think we're going to see more tight sets. I think Lost and Lucky is going to show his athleticism, because this defensive line for Ole Miss is good, but outside of that, their secondary players, their second and third level defenders, are not to the same caliber. And you want to play mismatches. That's where the mismatch is at. I think he leads this team in receiving yards, and maybe not receptions, but receiving yards, because I think he's going to get one or two big chunk plays that he has run after the catch ability on. Don't sleep on that in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go. Don't sleep on. I legitimately feel nervous about this game. I mean, I don't know if it's obvious, but like, I legitimately feel nervous about this game. I locked up Georgia -2.5, mostly on the principle that Kirby Smart is playing a team not named Alabama and they're favored by less than 3 points. And so what in the world am I doing if I don't just take it? I'm nervous about this game, but I'm going to say this. Don't sleep on a blowout. And Georgia fans hear that and get excited, but I mean either way. Either way. I very much think a 10-point plus win either way is very much in play in a game like this. I could see this game getting out of hand because Carson Beck comes out and plays well, and when Georgia's offense and when Carson Beck, if Carson Beck were to play well, I almost said when he plays well, but that I haven't seen it, so that wouldn't be a. No, if Carson Beck were to play well, Georgia's offense would be near unstoppable, and I don't think Ole Miss is mentally strong enough. Like, I think even being at home, I think they would crumble if Georgia just came out and started putting it on them. I think you are a reflection of your head coach, and Lane Kiffin is anything but resilient, in terms of being mentally tough. So don't sleep on that happening. Also, if it's the other way, if Georgia's defense struggles early, if Carson Beck turns it over early, if this game gets out of hand for Ole Miss, I think it could snowball. Very easily snowball. I know we've seen Georgia come back against a team like Alabama. Don't be so fast to assume that Georgia would come back in another one of those scenarios. Yeah. They get down 21-3 early in this game. I think you could be looking at a potential big time loss for Georgia.
I'm gonna evoke a year that's not pleasant when you look at this game matchup. 2017 was a year that Georgia went to Jordan-Hare Stadium and got absolutely bludgeoned. Just ran out. I'm going to tell you, that Auburn team, they played guys like Missouri, blew them out 51-14, Mississippi State 49-10. Played Ole Miss 44-23, played LSU, lost to LSU at home by one score. Where have you heard this storyline so far? Blew out Arkansas 52-20. I'm not making this up. Blew out A&M 42-27 the week they played Georgia, and then handed it to us 40-17.
Could be a 40-17 game.
That is them blowing Ole Miss blowing us out 40-17 has more a percentage chance than us blowing them out 38-20, 38-15. But there is more in their favor. There's more things we have to be on point for. Don't sleep on that. It's not fun to hear. It's not fun to say. I don't enjoy it.
He doesn't like it.
But I didn't like 2017.
But here we are.
But I'm here and you're here and we're all here together. He's Daniel. I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. We'll be back. Overreactions to Ole Miss fans that are here that aren't talking with your high noon and your polo collar all up in the air.
Yeah, just get your croquis in order. Make sure you got your topsiders on, right? Like, get everything together. And then
What's
when
that
you
weave belt they call? What's the pattern of the weave belt?
Yeah, your your vodka cranberry that you've got that you're drinking there at the Grove. Come on back after the game. We'll be here.
We'll be here.
We'll be here talking about the game, overreacting to it on Saturday evening after it is over, and we will see you guys then.
See ya.